Hi students, welcome back to my channel Evolve Solving Physics. Today we are going to discuss the topic that is representation of angle between two vectors. So in this class, how the angle can be found with the help of two vectors. So how the angle is made by the two vectors. So the angle between two vectors is represented when the two vectors are placed tail to tail. So by connecting the two vectors tail to tail, we can find the angle between the two vectors. So this is the vector representation. The point these point represent tail and these point represent head. The tail can also be called as initial point and head can we call it as final point. So the two vectors tails are placed or joined. Joining that two tails, we can find the angle between two vectors. So now I am going to explain some example to understand this topic very easily. So the first example is, first suppose they have given these two vectors a bar and b bar. By giving these, they will say that find the angle between these two vectors a bar and b bar. I said that to find the angle between two vectors, the tails of two vectors should be connected. So, and when you are finding the angle between that vectors, you should not change the direction of that vectors. Okay, so this is the a bar, this is the tail of first vector, and second vector is this. So connect here. So you can observe that there is no change in the direction of second vector b bar. So you can observe that this is the tail of first vector and this is the tail of second vector. So by connecting this, you can form an angle between these two vectors. So this is the angle between the two vectors. So one more example is, so a bar is forward direction and upward direction is b bar. Now we are going to find the angle between two vectors. So we should connect the tail of first vector with the tail of second vector. So you can observe that this is a bar, and I said that when you are finding the angle between two vectors, there should be no change in the direction of two vectors. So you can find like this. This is b bar. You can see that there is no change in the direction of two vectors. This will be the angle between the two vectors. There is another way to find the angle between two vectors. So this is a bar, and I am connecting here itself. This is b bar. So you can see that you said that to find the angle between two vectors, tail and tail should be connected, but here you are connecting first vector head with the tail. So there is another possibility, that is by extending a bar. So by extending the direction of a bar, you can find the angle like this. So this will become a bar. You can observe that by extending a bar, this will become tail and this will become tail itself. So here is the angle formed between two vectors. So know any possibilities to find the angle between two vectors. By extending, you can find the angle between two vectors. By extending any of the vector, you can find the angle between two vectors. So this is one possibility, and this is the another possibility. So another example, if angle between a bar and b bar is theta. So they said that angle between a bar and b bar is theta, and angle between a bar and k b bar is also theta. So they said that a bar is this and k b bar is also theta when k is positive constant. Here the vector b bar is multiplied with a positive constant. So if any vector is multiplied with a positive constant, then there will be no change in the angle between the two vectors. So if any vector is multiplied with a positive constant, here we are multiplying a vector with a positive constant k. So if you multiply any vector with a positive constant, there will be no change in the angle. So there will be same angle between AB and AK bar. A bar and B bar and A bar and KB bar. So another example, for suppose if a vector is multiplied with a negative constant, so what will be the angle? So I said that if a vector is multiplied with a positive constant, the angle between two vectors is same. So and for suppose if a vector is multiplied with a negative constant, here minus k is negative constant. Negative constant means k represents positive constant itself but multiplied with minus sign, so minus k. So if then what will be the resultant? So A bar and B bar will be theta itself. So but what will be the angle between A bar and minus KB bar? So A bar is itself and B bar will be itself, but minus sign represents downward direction. As you can observe that this direction here B bar direction represents upward, but it is multiplying with negative, extend it downward. So upward represent positive and downward represents negative. This will be the minus k B bar, minus k B bar. So this is the angle made between A bar and B bar. So this will be the angle between 180 minus theta. So angle between A bar and minus k B bar will be 180 minus theta. Why I am taking 180 minus theta? You know that. So you can observe that this is happened here. So this will be 90 and this will be 90. Totally 180. 180 minus removing theta from 180 because this is the angle between A bar and B bar. But I want the angle between A bar and minus KB bar. So 180 minus theta. This will be the angle between A bar and minus B bar. So 180 minus theta. So if a vector is multiplying with a negative constant, that is negative sign of positive constant. So this is negative sign, k is the positive constant. So the angle made between the vector A bar and minus KB bar is 180 minus theta. Why I am removing theta means I need only the angle between A bar and minus KB bar. So theta should be removed from 180. So 180 minus theta. So this is the two axes happened here. This is the one quadrant and this is the another quadrant. So it represents 180 minus theta. Okay. So angle between collinear vectors is always 0 or 180 degrees. So what is meant by collinear vectors? I have explained in previous class. Two or more vectors moving in a same line. Their magnitude may be different but should move in a same line. So you can see here they are moving in same line but different magnitudes. Magnitudes may be different but they should move in a same line. So same line means you can has moving P bar is moving in forward and direction and Q bar is moving in forward direction in a same line. But magnitudes are different. In collinear vectors, the magnitudes may be different, but they should move in a same line. So angle made will be 0 degrees. So as they are moving in a same direction means 0 degrees. Along x-axis means 0 degrees. For suppose P bar and Q bar is moving in opposite direction to P bar. They are moving in same line with different direction and different magnitudes. So angle will becomes 180 degrees. 180 degrees. By taking 180 degrees as they are moving in same direction means in only one direction, that is the angle will becomes 0. Why? But why I am taking 180 degrees? Because the two vectors are moving in opposite direction to each other but they are moving in same line. This is the line. As P is moving like this and Q is moving like this. They are moving in same line but they are in opposite direction. So this represents 180 degrees. But this represents this is P bar and this is Q bar, same line, only one direction, so 0 degrees. The two vectors are opposite to each other in their directions, so theta equals to 180 degrees. So as two vectors are collinear, the angle made between the two vectors will be 0 degrees or 180 degrees. As they are moving in same direction means 0 degrees, as they are moving in opposite direction means 180 degrees. So they have given three diagrams, that is x direction. So along x-axis the angle made by the vector is 30 degrees, along x-axis the angle made by the b vector is 30 degrees, and along with x-axis the angle made by the c vector is 45 degrees. They said to find the angle between a bar and b bar and c bar, and a bar and c bar. Here you can observe that there is one similarity between these three angles made with the x-axis. So these three vectors are making an angles along the same axis, that is x, x and x. So now we are going to calculate the angle between a bar and b bar and c bar, and a bar and c bar. So this is an x-axis. So along x-axis the angle made by the a vector is 30 degrees, and along x-axis the angle made by the b vector is 30 degrees. Along x-axis the angle made by the c vector is along x-axis 45 degrees. They say to find the angle between AB, BC and AC. So angle between a bar and b bar. So how you can find the angle between a bar and b bar? So by adding you can find. So along a to x is 30 degrees and x to b is 30 degrees. You want a and b, so you can add this 30 degrees plus 30 degrees, you will get 60 degrees. So angle between a bar and b bar is 60. So why I am adding this? So there is a common of x-axis here between a and b, so I am adding angle between a bar and b bar. Now angle between b bar and c bar. So along x-axis the angle made by the b vector is 30, but angle made with x-axis with c is 45 degrees. So you want the angle between these, between b bar and c bar. So 45 degrees minus 30 degrees, you will get 15 degrees. So angle between b bar and c bar is 15 degrees. Why I am subtracting this? Because angle made by the c vector is 45 and the angle made with the between x-axis with b bar is 30, but I want the angle between b bar and c bar. If you subtract this, you get the angle between b bar and c bar. So 45 minus 30, you will get this. So you know this one and this one. You want this, you should subtract 45 minus 30, you will get 15. Now angle between a bar and c bar. So a bar is along with x-axis is a to x is 30 and x to c is, you want this, x to c is 45 plus 45, the angle will be 75 degrees. So these are the angles, how we can find the angles between two vectors. So this is how you can find the angle between two vectors. So if you have any doubts on this topic, please comment me in comment box. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.